Hello. Thank you for joining us as we review making event requests through SALPsync. If you haven't already, we suggest that you watch the Student Organization Request video to give you a better understanding of the terms and processes referred to in this tutorial. This video will go over some of the common requests you may need to make in order to plan an event, including catering and room requests. Let's start by thinking about what you might need. One of the first steps in planning an event is confirming a location. Most spaces on campus are scheduled through the scheduling office in the Smith Memorial Student Union. The Native American Center handles its own requests. Both reservation forms are accessible on SALPsync. Go under the Tools menu and click on the Links tab. The forms will appear to your right. The Smith Memorial Student Union form can be filled out online and will be sent directly to your advisor for approval and then on for processing. The Native American Center form needs to be printed out and dropped off in the SALP office. Before submitting any forms, please remember to fill them out completely. This greatly speeds up the process, as your advisor will not have to get in touch with you regarding missing information. If your event requires AV equipment, you will need to access the AV Services Request form under the Links tab on SALPsync. Once filled out, this form will be sent directly to your advisor for approval. If approved, it will be sent out for processing. You can also request AV equipment through your room reservation. Just include your AV equipment need on your Smith Memorial Student Union reservation form. If you plan on providing food or refreshments at your event, you will need to fill out a food request. Aramark Catering has an exclusive contract to provide catering to all public events in Smith Memorial Student Union. If your event is not open to the public or it is not in Smith, you have the choice to use Aramark or to purchase food elsewhere. If you would like to use Aramark, you will need to fill out an Aramark catering request under Tools and Forms. If you are having a public event in Smith and would like to use a different caterer, you must use a licensed, insured restaurant or caterer and will need to fill out an Aramark food waiver, also found under Tools and Forms. Both of these documents are found at the very bottom of the form page, so you will need to scroll down. The Aramark catering menu can be viewed under the Links tab. Make sure to plan ahead because all catering and food waivers need to be done weeks in advance. If you need to contract a performer or speaker for your event, you will need to fill out a Request to Spend Money form under the Forms tab, which you will also find under the Tools menu of the Student Administrators Club portal on SALPsync. You will be requiring a contract. Keep in mind the processing time for contracts is at least 20 business days. So in order to ensure that your request will be processed in time for your event, please refer to the Processing Times Guide way in advance. This document can be accessed under the Media menu by clicking on Files. If you plan on charging admission for an event on campus, it is important to keep in mind that you must go through the Portland State box office. There are two box office request forms accessible on SALPsync under the Links tab. One of the forms is for when you will just be selling tickets at the door, while the other form is for when you will be selling tickets online as well. We strongly suggest that you make your box office requests at least a month in advance, and please plan on working closely with your advisor to determine how earned revenue will be spent and accounted for in your group's budget. For certain events, there will be additional things you will need to consider. If you will be co-sponsoring your event or have a charitable beneficiary, you will need to work with your advisor closely and far in advance to write out a co-sponsorship agreement and perhaps get permission from the PSU Development Office to do fundraisers. For events that need a large amount of setup, you may be required to set up a pre-event meeting. Large events, dances, and other events that could potentially have security concerns will be required to have security meetings with you, scheduling staff, and campus public safety. Any requests for events that run after normal business hours also have to be approved by campus public safety. Please speak with your advisor ahead of time and let him or her know about any events your group may be planning. Your advisor can help ensure that your event turns out as successful as possible.